I actually love this time period between September to December, its own little version of a winter arc kind of thing. Most people kind of wait until, New Year's resolutions to actually start, doing shit and give themselves, a little more motivation to be able to get shit started. But how much cooler would it be if you could just launch pad your actual New Year's resolutions at an even better place and already have a head start to your goal, and then you're just flying by the time New Year's hits. I'm going back to a phase of really learning and improving, because especially in the beginning when I was going from literally square zero to square one, of course I needed to start by just doing, but a big part of that was also learning and understanding what to do and strengthening my mental tools, like my knowledge and my information on certain subjects. I needed to strengthen that a lot. However, there comes a certain point where, you walk a fine line between mental masturbation and procrastination and analysis paralysis, and you basically end up not doing what you're supposed to do. So you should always maintain an output. Like at the very, very beginning, it was probably, a 70-30 in terms of output and learning. And then as I got things rolling and I needed to improve the skills even more to be able to, help more people, be able to provide more of an impact, that went from a 70-30 to almost like a 50-50, or almost like a 60-40 on the learning side and 40 output. Now recently, I'm not gonna lie, it's become way more of an actual 90-10, where I'm actually only doing 90% output, which is I'm only working and I'm only spending 10% of my time actually learning. But I'm in the process so that I can actually grow and expand my knowledge base to be able to get to that point. Experience is one of the best teachers on planet Earth, and at the end of the day, you're gonna learn a lot more from trial and error and 30% of learning rather than 70% of learning and 30% of implementation. So I'm always gonna maintain and prioritize implementation and output first. That's what you always have to do. Otherwise, if you're not actually doing anything, you're not actually putting in the steps to get better. And obviously, the only way that's going to come in reality, and the reason that there's a 70% output in the ratio and only a 30% output on the actual learning, is because majority of what's going to get me there is just relentless hard work. The work is the thing that's going to get you there. It's really just all about understanding where you are and where you need to be, and having that self-awareness and that confidence and that grit to be able to put yourself through whatever it is that you need to go through to be able to become that person and be that avatar and be that character that can go and achieve anything they fucking want. And it starts with the small things. Like when you get to a certain point, you got to realize the basics are so important. It's pretty funny. At this point, till now, I honestly have not had a really solid routine. I've kind of been waking up, get the work done, and figure out the rest of your day based off that. I haven't been, if I have to stay up late, I stay up late. If I have to, sleep in, I'll sleep in. And that's pretty insane. Expecting that I'm going to get to, another place relative, or expecting that I'm going to get to another place much further along while not having just something as basic as my entire daily life and routine systemized. You would never expect a business to grow if it didn't have systems in place to allow it to grow. So why would you expect you to be able to achieve better goals without having systems in your life to be able to help you achieve it? At the end of the day, every single goal in life is achievable, can be replicated if you've seen it somewhere else, by you or by anyone. I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in the next few months, especially, by December. But yeah, for now, I'm just kind of stuck in this university, in this room, coming here basically every day and just working. I'm just getting stuff done. We've had a fuck ton of roadblocks. We're probably just going to go back to what works and try and figure it out from there. And when I'm talking about going back to what works, I'm obviously talking about my outreach system at the moment, because it's completely shut the bed and we're not booking meetings and getting opportunities to pitch potential clients on sales calls. All paths kind of lead to the same thing, which is going back to what works, going back to what was able to kind of get me results in the beginning. So it's just going to be some of that. Basically all day is just going to be setting that stuff up again, and then filming some new videos, some new outreach videos to get potential clients. And yeah, it's a little boring. It's a little bit of a boring kind of day, but I mean, this phase, like this last week or two, has just literally just been my four walls in my bedroom, my bed, food, train, and repeat. It's just literally been work, eat, sleep, train, repeat. I don't know. I feel like I'm so close. I feel like I'm so close to where I want to be, and I feel like just a few right steps and I'm going to be exactly in the position that I need to be. I'm just not there yet. And I'm trying to enjoy the moment at the moment, and I'm trying to enjoy the process of, you know, living in the journey and living in the present, and understanding that, because if you truly understand that, you know, you're going to be somewhere, your current situation doesn't suck that bad, because you know this is very finite and you're going to be somewhere very, very soon. And I know that. I know 100% I'm going to be somewhere else in the next 30 days. And I can't even imagine in the next 60 or 90 days. I'm just waiting on it. I'm just waiting on it. And like, I know you should appreciate the moment. And I know so many times really, really successful entrepreneurs talk about how they always think about those before moments when they were in the grind after they've made it. But I'm not gonna lie, I am so ready for the after moment. I'm so ready to just be in the next phase and be at the point where I'm thinking about, you know, the days when I couldn't buy whatever the fuck I wanted and I wasn't driving in a fucking supercar and things like that. But it's coming soon, so I just gotta keep my head down and stay down until I come up. At the moment, that just seems like the right move to make on the chessboard, and just work like a robot and just keep my focus lasered and precise. One thing I am thinking about though is really getting back into jiu-jitsu. That's something I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna set my mind up for. I've been training, but it hasn't been the way I was before. Before I was training like a madman, you know, doing like 10 sessions a week, and you know, every day was a no-brainer. And I don't know if I could do 10 a week now just because of how busy I am, but when I can 100% commit to maybe like minimum 3 to 4, and that's something I want to do besides working out, to just get my body right, just get my mind right, and do something else besides business and work and creating content, something on the side that is purely for fun but is also a healthy addiction. I'm not going to be, you know, it's easy to justify fun in terms of like and you know, doing something besides business as something very unproductive, but ultimately jiu-jitsu is very good for me because, you know, it keeps my mental right, keeps my body right, and it keeps me progressing towards something that I can't really get anywhere else. Just working towards that end goal every day, every single day, just trying to get 1% better, and just apply progressive overload. That's all it is. It worked for me in the gym, and it's going to work for me now, and it's going to work for me with the content. That's all it really is, man. Just one step better every single day, and one step forward every single day in the right direction accumulates to everlasting success. That's all it is, and I'm ready for it. The thing is with our space, and I say our for anyone that is doing anything kind of online or trying to figure out this online world and start a business, make money, live a percentage of their life online, because if your business is online, you're going to be living part of your life online. Obviously, one thing you have to just really consider and start to develop the habit of is to fall in love with the hustle. And the reason I say that, and one thing that can help with that, is obviously sitting in your same environment every single day, sitting in front of the computer, in your room or in your office, if you have an office, it can get a bit like you can start to lose your mind a little. And yeah, like you can definitely thug it out, but at the same time, I think there's just a real benefit to switching up the environment every now and then, working at somewhere else, getting a new environment, forcing yourself to kind of adapt. It gives you a little bit of fresh air, and it lets you kind of, enjoy your hustle a little more, because at the end of the day, falling in love with your hustle and starting to continuously do the monotonous tasks day after day and get really addicted to it is the sole way you're gonna win. Like, it's not that hard to make yourself enjoy what you're doing, Like, another way you could do this is just by mixing up the tasks. Like, if I know there's some really, really boring stuff, for example, for me, I just don't like copywriting. That's just one thing I that's just one thing, like, I kind of despise. I just don't like sitting in front of a screen copywriting. But obviously it's something that you have to do sometimes, and that's completely okay. But if you know that's something that you have to do consistently and for a really long period of time, that's something that I had to do every day for hours on end, just start mixing up some other tasks throughout the day that you enjoy, so you're not just doing that and you're not just killing yourself on that one task and frying yourself out. If I was to say one of the best keys to sticking into business or anything in life, honestly, like a motivational key of discipline, is teach yourself how to enjoy the thing that you're working on. If you can do that in any shape or form without some extreme form of success, like, let's say, obviously when I say, because when you're starting a business, of course, making, 10K or 20K is gonna make you enjoy it. But even then, even without that, you should be able to find ways to get solace and enjoy the task that you're doing. And it's on you, and it's dependent on you to figure out what those tasks are and how to create that enjoyment in your own life for your own journey. If you're getting tired of your environment, switch up your environment. If you're getting tired of your city, travel for a bit, Like, I traveled 3 times in the last 12 months just to kind of get a new perspective on things and to open up my paradigm on, what it would be like working at other places. What's the environment like? What does the air feel like? What is, am I able to work harder? Am I able to work less? So, and you learn more, you learn more. Like, before I traveled, I used to think that the place I'm at right now, Vancouver, was the shittiest fucking place in the world. But in reality, it's not. And you only figure that out once you start to travel. And I've almost come to the conclusion, that this is one of the best places to be in terms of locking in for myself. And this is one of the places that has the least distractions for myself. But on a micro scale, I get tired of my room sometimes. Like, I'm in that room sometimes 2 or 3 days on end without ever leaving. Switch it up, go outside. Wear something nice. Wear a little Real Madrid kit. Don't wear another kit, because every other kit sucks. But yeah, that's all I kind of just wanted to preface. Learn how to love the hustle, because the hustle becomes so much easier. And when you're able to love the hustle and not feel like you're grinding when you actually are, that's when you'll win. And that's when you'll notice you're able to stay so consistent, and consistency compounds. And when your consistency compounds over long periods of time, you're gonna notice your life change rapidly. And that's what I'm trying to do at the moment.